Thursday, the 30th of July 2026. Here from a very warm Turkey, and I think you guys have seen on the news that we are experiencing some serious forest fires, especially down in Fethiye way and Ole Denise. And yeah, a year ago I've spoken to a guy that works in the forest, and he told me that the biggest culprit that ignites fires is actually glass. I would have thought maybe somebody that smokes cigarettes, or maybe barbecues or braais or whatever in the forest. But no, it's glass. So remember that when you're in the bush or in the forest, glass can cause a fire. Anyway, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about XRP. And I think before we go into the charts, let's go into history. You know, XRP was designed to take over SWIFT. And you know, SWIFT was cross-border payments. And you know, when you want to send me money here in Turkey, it's going to take 3-4 days if you send it via SWIFT. You know, and going through different banks and whatever. And everybody takes his slice of the cake. And who pays at the end of the day? Me and you that send the money and receive the money. So SWIFT was way past its sell-by date, and then Ripple Labs designed XRP and developed XRP. Maybe that's the right word. For cross-border payments. And not only for me and you, but for big institutions. Transferring big sums of money in different currencies. And then obviously, that is now taken SWIFT off balance, and they made plans. And then you remember while XRP was still getting to form, and XRP was going to surpass Ethereum. There was no doubt about it. On the market cap. And then obviously now there's a lot of conspiracy theories, or maybe there's truth behind it, but you remember what was his name, William Hinman speech in, I can't remember when that was, but it must have been 2018 or whatever. And then the next thing was Jay Clayton took over from Hinman. And they filed a lawsuit against Ripple Labs, saying that XRP is a security, and a security needs to be registered with the SEC, like any other stock. You know, like whatever is on the stock exchange need to be registered at the SEC, and XRP is not registered. So Ripple Labs said, no, XRP is not a security. XRP is a currency, a digital currency, and it's a commodity, like oil, gold, silver, platinum. It's a commodity, and therefore it does not need to be registered with the SEC. Well, you know what happened is, Jay Clayton filed a lawsuit on the 22nd of December 2020. And guess what? The 23rd of December, the next day, he resigned. Very suspiciously. You know, like, I think the writings on the wall, what actually happened. I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. I think, these are facts. It's corruption, if you ask me, you know. And then there was a temporary person in charge of the SEC till about February 2021, and Gary Gensler took over. And we actually thought, all our XRP guys, we thought, now hang on, Gary Gensler is going to help us. But no, it was just the opposite. And you know what? Getting back to XRP has got a good use case. It's got a it's got a good utility. It's a good coin to invest in. I still believe it's up till today, it's a good coin to invest in. We might not reach that $1,000 or $5,000 price on XRP, but it's still a good coin to invest in. Then in 2024, Donald Trump made at the Bitcoin conference in 2024. I can't remember the exact date, but he made a statement that if he takes over office, if he gets in charge again, or if he gets elected as president again, the first thing he's going to do, he's going to fire Gary Gensler. Well, he took over office, I think, in February, whatever it was, and a week before he took over office, Gary Gensler resigned. And eventually, there was a settlement. The lawsuit in 2025, I think it was 6, 7, 8 months ago. And yeah, it cost the Ripple Labs $20 million. They got a fine for $20 million. Why they paid, I don't know. And I don't think any of us will know. Because they weren't in the wrong. Was it just a settlement or what was it? Yeah. But anyway, the charts will tell us where we are with XRP at the moment. So let's go and dig into the charts and see what they show us. Here we are on the screener. You remember the screener from the other day? And where do you find it? You find it on the right hand side of your TradingView chart. And there's a lot of information that you can get out of the screener. So yeah, I use it all the time. But let's dive into the screener and see. We'll see that BTC is on top with a market cap of $1.28 trillion. Then the next coin in line is Ethereum at 230 billion. Okay, then the USDT and USDC we're going to ignore because those are stable coins. And the next coin, the third coin, is Binance coin, sitting at 76 billion market cap. And then XRP. So if you ask me, is XRP still a good coin to invest in? It most certainly is. But let's go see what the charts are going to tell us. And I'll see you on the charts.
Please subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to smash the like button.
So yeah, here we are on the XRP weekly chart. And this is how I started that homemade pizza. And first of all, I started drawing in some support and resistance lines and trend lines. And you can see that I've drawn these two yellow lines. It shows me that the actual direction of the trade, actual direction of the price. And you can see that I touch multiple points, and I've drawn it touching those points, and that was the top line, and this is the bottom line. And you can actually see that's trading in between those two lines, and it's making low highs, low high, low high. So it's definitely a downtrend. Also with this green EMA 200, when you're below that EMA 200, you're definitely in a downtrend. And then you can see that I've marked this, and I've actually said that XRP must make a new higher high above $1.60 before we can really get excited. And why will that be? Because that's a lower high, and if XRP can go higher than that, then it will make a new higher high, and then we can get excited. Say, hang on, this is a reversal. And you know what? In trading, we're always looking for a reversal in price, whether we're going up or down. We're always looking for a reversal. So yeah, this is where we are with XRP at the moment. We're definitely in a downtrend. We're definitely below the 200 EMA, and we're definitely making lower highs and not higher highs yet. So let's jump into the next chart. Let's see what that chart's going to tell us. Yeah, you will remember the Gaussian channel, or the that nightmare river. Yeah, so let's have a look at it, and you'll see that we still XRP is still way below that, so and we need to get, like I said, XRP needs to get back into this troubled water and swim like hell to put foot on the other side. So must get in there and swim like hell to get on the other side. Because you know from experience what we've shown you before, this water is something else. Worse than, these rapids are worse than the Hawaiian surf waves, so yeah. And you can see the bottom of this Gaussian channel, or this river, is also that 160 that we spoke about in the previous chart. Yeah, so that will get your foot in there and swim like old Chad le Clos now in the Commonwealth Games. Yeah, I see he's doing well. Well done, Chad le Clos. Right, let's jump into the next chart. Here's the alligator, the Williams alligator, and you can get the Williams alligator on your indicators. Just go to indicators and go search for Williams alligator. Now let's have a look at this alligator. Now this alligator, the lips are green, the teeth is red, and then the jaw is blue. So from this we can see that the alligator is actually lying on its back, with the jaw on top, the teeth, and then the lips. So this alligator needs to turn around, and with the lips on top, teeth in the middle, and jaw. Then we know we're back in the uptrend again. I hope this explains it. Then let's jump into the next chart.
Thank you for subscribing to Trade Smart with Crypto. And a big thanks for smashing the like button. You guys are the best.
So here we're going to look at the Fibonacci retracements and the Fibonacci levels. And you'll see on the right-hand side, we've got the 236 Fibonacci line, 382, the 618 Fibonacci line, the 786. And you remember from the previous video that I've explained to you, and I told you that I'm a big Fibonacci maxi. I've even got, let me see, I've even got the Fibonacci tattoo on my arm. And you remember the golden ratio and everything about, and that was in the previous video. So I'm not going to go into that deep into Fibonacci now, but what you can remember for that is that we got these different levels, and for some reason it always stops and breathes at a Fibonacci line. So you can see here where it broke out from the 786, and then the next stop was here at the 618. Then there was a breakout. Retested the 618, and then came all the way down, then found a little bit of support here on the 382 for 1 week, and then the next week it broke out, and then it came back again to retest, and it wasn't too sure, and it tried to come back again, and eventually it lost the battle, and it found support on the 236. And you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks that we can't break through. XRP can't break through this the support line. So as long as that holds, and most probably it will hold through this looking for the bottom. Who knows? But as long as that holds, it will be a very good sign, and that might be our reversal point, or this might be our bottom, or XRP's bottom. Now this is the last chart I want to show you today, and in the top here where the price action is, you can see we got these different EMAs, exponential moving averages, and the blue is a 10 EMA. The yellow is the 21 EMA, the red is the 55 EMA, the purple is the 100 EMA, and then the green one is the 200 EMA. And to be totally bullish again, we need to turn around this formation, and the blue must be on top, yellow, red, purple, green. Then we're in a definite, like over here. You can see here when we were with the previous bull run in the cycle, we can see blue, yellow, red, purple, green, and we were in a definite positive uptrend then. So and this is where we want to be. So we want to see this blue to turn around and go above the yellow, and then the purple the red coming down and go below them, and so with the purple and so with the green, and then then we're bullish again. And then the second one is the RSI. The RSI, if we go below this red dotted line at the bottom, then we're in the oversold area. We haven't gone into the oversold area as yet on the weekly chart, but yeah. And then we need to come back, break through that yellow line, and then you see in the middle here, that's the 50% line. And then to be bullish, we need to go above the 50% line. So once we're above that 50% line and we close the RSI close, then we know we're back in business. Then what the MACD is concerned, the MACD tells us a complete different story than all the other indicators and lines that we've checked on the previous charts. And the MACD is telling us that, well, first of all, the MACD, when the red turns green, it's bullish, and when the green turns red, it's bearish. And so if MACD crosses below this yellow line, which is called the signal line, then we're bearish. And if it crosses above the signal line, then we're bullish. And we can see that the MACD has crossed above this yellow line, and that's why it turned green, which is a very bullish signal. But unfortunately, this is the only indicator that we've seen so far from the first chart that I've shown you that is actually bullish. We can argue and say that the bottom one is a stochastic RSI. We can argue and say that this one's also bullish. Yes, it might be because it's it's got a very positive momentum. This is a momentum indicator, and it's got a very strong momentum up till about 2 weeks ago, and then it's sort of running started to run sideways. And now we just got to wait and see what's going to happen. Is it going to continue this momentum to the upward side or not? Okay, so let's wrap it up and see where we stand with XRP. Like you've seen with every indicator, pattern, whatever we showed, the trend lines, the Gaussian channel, the Williams alligator, the Fibonacci lines, the EMAs, RSI, stock RSI, and the MACD. That it was only the MACD and the stochastic RSI that we can say that was sort of bullish. All the others, the trend lines, the low highs, XRP at the moment is below 200, the 200 EMA. Everything else was very, very bearish. And if you have to take my checklist that I've shown you in a video, 2 or 3 videos before, that we in selling territory. So if you want to do something, sell, Yeah. Now, will you really sell after a 70% drop? I think it's started playing out now. That is dangerous territory to start selling now, because we already almost with the RSI, we're already in the oversold area. No, so no, I won't sell. I will definitely not sell. Will I buy? No. As a trader, and I just want to ride a swing? No, I'll wait for confirmation. I'll wait for more confirmation before I can buy, and I will use my checklist again. And if you want a copy of the checklist, get it at the end of the video. And while you're there, get a copy of my book, Trade Smart with Crypto. Free e-copy that you can that'll show you the Williams alligator. Everything that we've discussed today is in the book as well. So yeah, go grab your free ebook copy at the end. So yeah, everything in that indicator will tell you no, you can't buy either if you're going to ride the swing a bit. However, if you're a long-term trader or hodler, a hodler, for people that don't know what hodling is hold on for dear life, and that's where the word comes from. But if you're going to hodl or you're going to invest for a long time, then is 107 a good buy for XRP? And I think it's an excellent buy opportunity. Excellent buying opportunity. I mean, you're buying something way under its value. You're buying something that's fourth on crypto market cap. That tells a story on its own. No, yeah. So, will I buy? Of course I'll buy for the long term. But if I have to trade, it's a different story, different ball game altogether. If I do a bit of a swing trade, like I said. But long-term investment, definitely, it's definitely a good buy. And think about it. I know there's people that say they're going to wait for the bottom, and they're going to wait for that 90 cents or 80 cents XRP, which I doubt if it's going to go as low as 80 cents. But let's say they're waiting for the 90 cents. And he buys now at 107. And it goes down to 90 cents. What is the difference between 107 and 90 cents? It's 15%. It is, and if you take that 15%, you can come back and say, yeah, Paul, you know what, I've lost 15%. Oh, wait, but are you a trader or are you a long-term investor? No, I'm a long-term investor. So I said, then I will tell you, now what is the difference between 107 and 90 cents? If you take the previous high from the previous bull run, went up to 364. The all-time high was 384. XRP should have gone to $5. But because of that damn lawsuit, we only went up as far as 364. That handicapped us years before. But to cut a long story short, yeah. So what is the difference between 107 and 90 cents? 15%. If it goes to 384, only to 384, it goes to $4. That's 17 cents compared to $3 or whatever the case may be. It doesn't make sense, does it? So if you want to take a chance and wait for the bottom to 90 cents and you miss it, you're gonna blame yourself forever. If you wake up one morning and XRP is $1.80, $1.90, you're still gonna get in because now everything is bullish and we're riding the bull run. So you're still gonna get in, but you've lost 70 cents. You've lost 70 or actually 73 cents. Where now you're going to lose, you're certain of losing, you're prepared to say, okay, 17 cents or 15%. That's fine. But I'm going to buy and I'm going to invest. I'm not going to open my phone every day and see where's XRP now, where's XRP, or every week. Leave it. It'll grow. So the big question is, will I buy XRP? Most certainly I will. That is a good investment, a good investment opportunity even at 107. So trade smart, stay sharp, and see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.
Looking forward to see you traders again. Trade responsible, and don't forget your stop loss. Bye-bye.